Yesterday in this world, we are tackling a lot of problems that it keep repeating itself. It comes in the way of child abuse, domestic violence, come to the children education, come to rearing and training of children. And we'll keep thinking of how to make sure things work well. We'll keep seeing troubles in marriages, settling spouse, divorce, separation, and all that. We are seeing single parents all over the whole place. And yet we are asking ourselves, how do we handle these problems? We try to tackle one another, one manifests itself. But we fail to ask ourselves, were all these people really ready to marry before they marry? Why are they not having problem after getting married? All those people are boiling out from marriages that has not worked out well. And now we need to think about it. Were they all ready for marriage? In today's episode of You and Your Family on Divinity TV, we are going to be taking a topic: how to prepare yourself for marriage as a man and as a woman. How do you know whether you are ready for marriage? Because all these problems are found in marriage. All these problems are found in the family. So if we are ready for marriage, I think we'll have a better future, better children, better home, and we'll be able to handle issues that will be facing us. But when you're not ready and walk into it, you'll never be ready until the marriage scatters or until the children becomes nuts. And that is why we need to know how to prepare ourselves, so that we'll teach our younger ones, teach our daughters, teach people around us, and teach ourselves how to prepare ourselves for marriage. Because marriage is full of responsibility, and one needs to be responsible. One needs to prepare for it. I remain your anchor, Evangelist Mrs. Faith Okafor. As you hang on with us today, you will learn a lot about how to prepare, or how to know yourself that you are ready for marriage. Thank you. You're welcome back to this wonderful edition of our program, You and Your Family. Today, as I said before, we are going to be handling the topic: how to prepare yourself for marriage. In this topic, we'll be handling how you get yourself ready before even meeting someone who will say yes, or before you meet someone you propose to, or someone that you will say yes to. That is preparing yourself as a man, preparing yourself as a woman before entering into relationship. Not really in the relationship, because you need to know what you're going into before walking into it. Yes. Number one thing I will be taking today on this episode is one of the things you need to know, you need to do, and you need to be aware of before you start thinking of marriage. Number one is maturity. Maturity depicts responsibility. Maturity, I always say, is not in age. Age will only tell you that you should be getting ready now because it's time for you to get married. But age does not determine your readiness. So age, people see it as you grow in age, you should be able to be responsible for so many things. So age should tell you should get married, you should get ready, that marriage should be your next priority. But age should not determine whether you should marry now or not. Because we have seen people who are still within 18, 19, 20 who are very much ready. And we have seen ladies who are at the age of 35 and they feel life is still very hot. I need to enjoy life. Now I don't want to be under any commitment. And if you say these ones are not ready, is the one of 35, you'll be making a lot of mistakes. Age only tells you that you should be getting ready, and is not what the criteria for getting married. The number two here is, if you are now thinking you should be getting married, you should ask yourself this question. You should first of all ask yourself this question. Do I love myself? Do I like myself? You don't attract someone to yourself who will like you or love you when you yourself, you have not loved or liked yourself. Yes, if you must get married, you must begin to love and like yourself. Know that you are beautiful. Believe you're beautiful before someone else will see you as beautiful. If you never know whether you're beautiful or whether you are good, and you're expecting someone to come and let you know, and that is why so many ladies today, they marry because someone is telling them they are beautiful, so they believe what they are telling them and not what they believe about themselves. And when they walk into this relationship and tomorrow they begin to feel inferior because their husband said one thing about them, they believe whatever their husband to be says is what they are and is who they are. And when they keep on living like that, they will never live in their real image. They will always live under their cocoon, because people can change with time. Marriage is a vast institution that when you enter into it, you see a lot of things inside. Things that it present to you at the beginning is not what you see in the marriage. Most time you see some good things that could attract you to walk into it, but when you enter into it, you understand better whether these things are the real thing in the marriage or are they just a superficial thing in marriage. So you need to like yourself, you need to love yourself before you look for who will love you and like you. One of the things that has kept so many ladies hanging and they have not found a spouse who will even pick interest in them is because they don't like their self. They don't love their self. If you like yourself, people will know. If you love yourself, people will know. If you cherish yourself, people will know. The number 3 points I want to talk about here is, for you to know that whether you're ready for marriage, is that you should be able to take care of yourself. You can't take care of yourself if you have not loved yourself. Yes, that's the truth of the matter. You cannot take care of yourself if you have never loved yourself. If you cannot wash your clothing, you cannot take care of yourself, you cannot dress and wash yourself on the mirror and tell yourself, I am good to go, you are not ready for marriage. If you cannot you cannot dress without somebody telling you, hey, tie your hair like this, wear your shirt like this, you cannot dress without correction, it means you are not ready yet for that thing called marriage. These are the primary little things that people neglect that destroys their marriage in future. You should be able to take care of yourself physically. You need to take care of yourself spiritually. You need to take care of yourself emotionally. You need to take care of yourself all round. Physically, you need to take care of your outlook. You need to take care of yourself spiritually. You need to take care of your spiritual life. You're not married for your husband to take care of your spiritual life. Let me tell you, whether you marry a bishop, you marry a GO, daddy GO or mommy GO, I want to let you know, your spiritual level, the way you take care of your spiritual level before you get into marriage matters a lot, and it will take you a long way or it will end you on a short way in that marriage. So you don't depend on the spiritual level of your husband or your wife. You prepare. Take care of your spiritual life as a single person. Is the way you get yourself ready as a single person that will be able to help you to uphold that family with what you already know. You don't enter into marriage to learn everything. You walk into marriage what you have already learned and upgrade on what you have learned. You need to take care of yourself physically, please. Some of the ladies that cannot even take care of their hair, they can't even take care of their clothes, they can't even iron. Some brothers, they don't even know how to iron. They're waiting for a woman they will marry tomorrow that will start to iron their clothes, that will be their laundry, that will be their cleaner, be their cook and all that. Those things are the things to show that you are not ready for marriage. If you are ready for marriage, you'll be able to take care of yourself. Then your wife is coming to supplement. She's coming to complement, not to supplement, to complement you, yes. And she's also coming to be a helper where you can do that. She's coming to help you to do and not to come and take the whole responsibility. Some are coming to us. You are married and you believe that when I marry my husband, my wife, or marry my, like some ladies believe that when I marry, my husband will take care of my fees, take care of my clothing, take care of everything about me. Let me tell you, that is a very wrong mindset. It means you're not ready. There is this wrong mindset we have before when we are growing up, that hey, when you're getting married, you don't need to bother yourself. When you get married, your husband will give you everything you want, buy clothes, buy you shoes, buy you handbags. So even people who are even walking into marriage, the little one they manage to get while they are still single as a lady, they will dash it out to all their friends, then go to their husband how empty-handed, because their husband is going to buy them new clothes, buy them new shoes, new handbag, new Evang, everything, new watches. So when they share everything they have, they believe that their husband should be able to take care of them. And when they walk into that marriage and that man is not having enough to cover all those edges, you find out that things will start to leak and begin to show. Know how to take care of yourself. Be independent on your own. Be independent physically to an extent. Be independent spiritually to an extent. Emotionally. Don't be the type that if you are angry, if somebody did not come to tell you sorry, you cannot come out of the anger. You've not started yet. You will enter into marriage, and if your husband never tell you sorry when you are angry, you'll be angry for 1 month. Some men don't care. If you like, put your head up, and you're waiting for sorry. Some men is very difficult. It's the hardest thing for them to do, and some ladies is like that too. It is the hardest thing for them to do, to come and tell you sorry. Even when they are sorry in their heart, they find it difficult to say, I am sorry. So you don't need to bury yourself in that kind of mindset and say you want to walk into, so I'm sorry. If you are still having that mindset that when you are hurt, somebody must tell you sorry, you are not ready for marriage. You need to work on your emotional being. You need to work on the way you feel. You believe that no man is not, it doesn't depend on anybody to make you happy. You can make yourself happy without somebody else making you happy. When you can make yourself happy, when people don't determine how you feel at a time, it means you are preparing yourself for marriage, because marriage is filled up with a lot of pressures. So you need to handle things yourself. In some areas, you don't need to depend everything on your husband to be. So if number one, you can't take care of yourself, number two, your age, you're not really ready by preparation, you are not ready for marriage. If you cannot love yourself, I'm sorry, you may not get someone who will love you the way you are expecting. You need to love yourself, so that if someone did not love you, you are good to go with the level at which you love yourself. So these are some of the points. I believe somebody is getting something very clearer. We'll be hanging off for now to go on a short break, and we'll be right back very soon to continue the remaining points. So please make sure you stay with us. Invite others to continue with us. We'll be right in a short moment. Thank you very much. Yes, you're welcome back. Yes, we've been on this topic, how you can prepare yourself for marriage. Yes, we have talked about some things that if you're doing, you're not ready for marriage. We'll say you must, first of all, your age should show that you're ready. You should love yourself. You should be able to take care of yourself. That is the first point we discussed. And now we are back to talk about you must be ready for what? Commitment. That is point number 4. You must be ready for what? For commitment. No one walks into marriage without being committed, without ready for commitment. What does it mean to be committed? Commitment is being ready to be engaged or into an obligation that will not allow you for total freedom of action. That's what some people call marriage bondage, but it's never a bondage. But you should know that as you're walking into this, this is not just only you, but someone else is involved and other people are also involved. So you don't talk about your complete freedom, because there are things the other person may not like, there are things you may want, the other person may not want. So you should be ready to compromise. You should be ready to be committed to this relationship, so that when there are times when you will not have that freedom to do what you want to do, you will not pick offense. Yes. If everything you work towards is to make sure the marriage works out, you will be ready to be committed, to be bounded. You must be ready to be adhesive to everything in the marriage, to be committed, to be devoted, to be dedicated. That is what it means to be committed. Yes, you need to be faithful. Faithfulness is required if you are committed. Yes, you have to be committed. You have to be ready to be committed if you want to walk into marriage. Yes. You don't say I want to go into marriage because all my friends are getting married. Everybody is into marriage already. The other my friend wedded last Saturday. The other one wedded last 2 Saturdays. The other one wedded last 3 Saturdays. And this Saturday another one is wedding. Next month another one is wedding. Hey, even my roommate is getting married. It's a serious relationship. Hey, her wedding is just on the pipeline. I am not into even any relationship yet. I must hook up to someone. No, that is not what marriage is. It doesn't make you ready. That your friends are all married does not make you ready. Get ready yourself by preparing to get committed. If you must get committed, you need to be ready for faithfulness. You need to give in your time. You need to give in your word. You need to give in everything about your heart into that relationship. Why so many marriages break and we are having issues in marriages today is because they were not ready for commitment, but they want to have someone who they will call their wife or husband. Especially the men. Most men walk into marriage without being committed, without being ready to be committed into that marriage. Maybe they marry because their mother has been pushing them. You are up to the age of getting married. Marry and give me a grandchild. So they had no option than to look for one sister, look for one lady that will look like what their parents want and propose to the sister. The sister say yes, and they give the sister marriage and wedding, and the elaborate wedding the sister will want, and now they want to be on their own. How? If you say you want to get married and you're not ready to leave your phone for your wife to check, your wife to be to check, it means you're not ready yet. Most men will always tell you, why will my wife going through my phone? Why will my wife be going through my phone? I thought you said you wanted to get married. I thought you said you wanted to have a wife. And the Bible said you and your wife will become one. So what is inside that phone that you don't want your wife to know? And if she happen to enter your phone, you say, why would she? Hey, no. It means you were not ready for commitment and you walked into marriage. If you were ready for marriage, you should be open. If you're ready for commitment, you should be open to your spouse to be. Your spouse should be open to a fault. You should be ready to open up everything to your spouse. Your spouse should know you're in and out. There should not be anything secret between two of you. There is nothing you should know she's not supposed to know. There is no relationship you should be into that your spouse is not supposed to be aware of. A lot of men who put a lock in their phone just so that their wife will not be able to access their phone. A lot of ladies who always put lock in their phone so that their husband will not have access to their phone. I want to pity you. You are not ready for commitment and you walked into it. You just walked into that marriage because you were not ready for it. Maybe because of what people are doing, you want to just identify with someone who you could call your husband. Marriage entails commitment, complete devotion and dedication. You know that in complete devotion and dedication, you don't have the will of your own anymore. The will you have is the will for both of you. Which means both of you will always agree to do things. It mustn't be that it's what I want that must happen. It shows a sign that you are now ready. When you're ready to give in, to be open to even your accounts should be open. Your phones, your text message, people you answer call. You don't need to run into the bedroom to go and answer any call. You don't need to do any chatting without your spouse knowing. I think you're ready that time. Yes. is a sign you're very, very much ready. Another thing that will show that you are ready for marriage is you don't have unrealistic expectations. When we talk about this unrealistic expectations, some people don't understand it. Yes, marriage there are some expectations you have that are very realistic. Yes, realistic in the sense that your spouse should be able to be honest to you, your spouse should trust you, both of you should love each other, you should be doing things together. Your spouse should help you out in one or two things that you're doing. Your spouse should spend time with you. But when we talk about the unrealistic, these are the things, so most time we have it in our heart and we believe that our spouse should see through the mirrors of our heart and know what we have in mind and should be able to meet us at the point of our needs. These are the expectations that are not realistic. They can never be. What are these expectation? You have this expectation that my husband will always be with me from morning till night. If we're married, we'll always spend our time together. No one will leave each other. Story. That is just a fairy tale that people tell that has never happened. Story that people tell that has never happened and that will never happen. Yes, your spouse will never be with you 24 hours. It's never true. When you have this kind of expectation in your mind, when you enter the marriage and your husband began to go to work or became committed to his work or some things he does, you begin to feel that he's neglecting you because there was unrealistic expectation in your mind and you want that expectation to be met. Sometimes you don't even say it, but you want it and you assume he should know this is what he's supposed to do and this is what he's supposed to know that this is what I want. No, it's not possible. He can't be with you 24 hours. He can't even spend 12 hours with you, except the time you're on bed in the night sleeping together. So not even have that complete time with their spouse. So when you're walking into marriage, you should be able to make up your mind that I may marry someone who may not spend all the time with me, but at least we should be able to spend quality time together. Quality time does not mean how many hours you spend together. It means how valuable, how useful the little moments you're with yourself, you spend it with each other. 1 hour can be a quality time. 2 hours can be quality time. 6 hours can be quality time. 3 hours can be quality time. Even 20 minutes can be quality time with your spouse. But the issue, that time that you spend with your time, it was all about you and him or her. And you were able to spend it, you know that it's for two of you. You were able to have a mind to mind, rubbing of mind to mind and all that. You were able to express yourself. You felt loved. You felt the presence of the other person. There was this emotional and affectionate environment people created for each other. Whether it lasted long or it did not last long, the issue is that there is time you stayed together. So we are believing that it's going to be all the day. You stay with him in the morning, you romance him in the morning, you kiss him in the afternoon, you peck him in the night. It is not going to be true. So remove that in your mind. If you're still having such mindset, you're not ready for marriage. The number 2 of an unrealistic expectation, example of it could be that my husband will provide everything I'll ever need. He's going to give me everything. I'm going to be dependent on him. He's going to be a dependable man. He's going to provide for me, buy me cars, buy me clothes, buy me everything I need in this marriage. Let me tell you, it may not be possible. Yes. And even if it's possible that the man provides for everything you want, that marriage will have problem. You are already preparing yourself for a clash, because when that man meets another lady who can support him, who can give him, he begin to see you as a liability. Yes, that is why you need to prepare for yourself. You need to be dependent before you get married. As a lady, I will always, you can be dependent at the age of 18, you can be dependent at the age of 20, 21. You mustn't be 35 or 45 to be dependent. Let me explain to you what I mean by being dependent. Yes, as a girl, you should be able to let yourself know that you can provide. If you're the girl that everything you ever used as a single lady must be provided for your parents, you are not ready for marriage, not at all. If your cream, your soap, your comb, your undies, even your pants and bra must be bought by your mother and your father, hey, something is wrong somewhere. If everything you have ever used in life as a single lady before you get married was provided by your parents, was from your pocket money, something is wrong somewhere. If everything you have ever gotten has been from this your friend gave you cream today, the other one gave you soap, you are not ready for commitment. Because when you enter into that marriage, you want a man to provide everything. You have grown with the mentality that everything I need in life must be provided for me. And when you enter there and the man is not capable of providing everything for you, you begin to have problem in your mind. Yes. When I was about to marry, I was just I just graduated. I have not even finished with my project before I got wedded. So I was a student. Let me say I was still a student before I wedded, almost at the verge of graduating. I was not working, I was not doing anything, but because I knew I would soon graduate, I was not afraid. I married my husband. He was earning 5,000 naira. And the worst of it is that the 5,000 doesn't come home with him. He doesn't come home with the 5,000. How? Before the month will end, he will see, because he was pastoring one church, not really very little, but in a village setting. In that church, the stipend they give to him is 5,000, at least to cover for his transportations. My husband was living with the mother, living with the elder sister, living with the younger sisters, living with the younger brothers, and they still carry their cousin. And one lady that they had, the one orphan that they picked, that was their former neighbor, and later the parents died, they picked the girl to also help her, was living in my husband's house, and my husband was the one fending for everyone. My husband had once one of the sisters and one of his brothers, the cousin and the small girl. The small girl and the cousin was in secondary school then, while the sister and the brother was in the university. He was taking care of them with 5,000 naira. But he could still take care of them. I don't know how he was doing it, but he was. When I was coming, I was not coming to depend on the 5,000. I was planning on how I could help to make sure I help to sustain him or support him. Even when I went to meet one of the bishops that was there to help us, that was interviewing us, he asked me, how do you think you want to cope with that? I said, hey, I'm not going to go and depend on the 5,000. No. I'm believing I will get a job, I will get something doing to help. And immediately I got married, I started looking for something to do. And from what I got, we were helping and it relieved him a little stress from what he was getting on his own. So you don't walk into marriage believing that the man will be dependent, or you'll be dependent on the man, or you'll be dependent on the lady because she's coming from a royal family. Her people are good, they can support you. If you cannot take care of yourself, let me tell you, you can't take care of your wife. You can't take care of any other person. That is why you need to work on yourself first and know whether you are ready. When you're not ready, you work on yourself before you walk into it, so that you will not walk into disgrace. Marriage is all about responsibility, and you have to prepare for the responsibility before you walk into it. You mustn't be so rich, you mustn't be, but be able to take care of yourself. Ladies, take care of yourself. Be independent to an extent. The man, be independent to an extent, so that you be able to merge together and be able to be independent. When you jam together as independent people, you can help yourself and build an independent home. That is why you need to know what it takes to prepare yourself for marriage. This is the part 1 of this section. We're going to be having another section on this area of preparing for marriage. We have other points that we need to listen to the second section. We're going to be having series on this, because a lot of people has walked into marriage not knowing why they walked into the marriage, not even knowing the things that I expected to know before they walked into the marriage. Remember, we are still dealing on the unrealistic expectation. We're going to continue with this point next time and next week on this program, and I want you to make sure you invite others. I know you enjoyed it. I know your eyes is being open. I know you are getting something very, very wonderful from those teachings or from this program, this show. And I believe that by next week, as you're going down, your eye will be opened and more to understand that one needs to prepare him or herself before you start to think of getting hooked up to someone for marriage, because marriage is an internal process and it's not something you enter into without preparing yourself. Learn to prepare yourself for marriage. Begin to prepare yourself for marriage if you have reached the age of getting married, and begin to think of all those things and begin to make it right in your life so that God will know that you're ready and make someone available for you for marriage. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you're here to watch us next time, next week on same station on Divinity TV on this program called You and Your Family. And I remain your anchor, Evangelist Mrs. Faith Okafor is my name. Make sure you remain with us in our programs and you will love to be part of it. Thank you. God bless you.